I'm gonna start ranting, but this movie was so fucking bad. Like, I don't remember the last time that in a Marvel movie, like from the first 20 minutes, I was like, Brandy, does this, like, I whispered to her, I was like, does any of this shit make sense? And she's like, no, but just go with it. Hey, welcome to the Cool Club. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantamania, might be one of the worst, if not the worst movie that Marvel has ever made, guys. We just watched it in the iPic, which is a dine-in movie theater where you get to sit, you get to have drinks, you get to have like food, beverages, concessions. They serve you at the table. It's a very nice place. We always go there. It's a fantastic time. Usually we go watch great movies, but unfortunately we watched Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania today. And I got a couple of problems with it. So basically, again, spoiler alert for anybody that doesn't want to find out anything about this movie. I don't want to ruin it for anybody. I don't want to give away any plot lines. So if you guys want to mute the stream or come back in about 5 to 10 minutes once I'm done, once we start playing viewer games, you guys are more than welcome to. But from the bat, there are massive plot holes in this movie. First of all, as we know, Hank's wife slash Hope's mom slash Janet, I believe is her name from the movie. She is stuck in the quantum realm for quite a while that we know in one of the Ant-Man movies. She miraculously comes back. She's rescued by Hank. She, lives as the family happily ever after. But in this movie, immediately we see them get sucked back within the first 15 minutes of the movie back to the quantum realm, right? So they get sucked back to the quantum realm, and immediately there are so many glaring red flags. First of all, to get back to the quantum realm, basically Hope, their daughter, is somehow a genius that has worked with Hank and worked with No. Hope is sorry. What's the daughter's name again? I've already blocked out some things about the movie. I'm just gonna call it the daughter from now on. Somebody can remind me what the name is of the daughter. But she's been working with Hope and Hank in the last 5 years since Ant-Man's been stuck in the quantum realm, and is now a certified genius that has now made this detector or this transmitter or transponder that can send a message to the quantum realm, and somehow can I think they said something about mapping it out, or can explore it or get feedback. And then immediately, as soon as she turns it on, the mom is like, oh no, turn it off. And apparently what you get from the movie is that the quantum realm is able to have the technology to where when they send a signal, that the quantum realm is able to send one back and suck them into the quantum realm and bring them back down into the universe. So first of all, somehow the daughter's some bona fide genius out of nowhere, and she's 14, 15 years old, which, she doesn't go to college. She has no previous knowledge or any kind of exploits or any kind of credentials that would signify her as some genius that knows how to do that per se. Then they get down there and we find out that the mom has had this entire 30 to 40 year experience where there's this entire universe and planets and galaxies and entire life forms in the quantum realm that she never once ever mentioned to Hank, never mentioned to anybody, that she basically has completely zoned out and blocked out any kind of previous mention. How are you gonna come back from the quantum realm and be saved and have these months and weeks or whatever, even if it was days, with your significant other and Hank, and all of the research, and he's the bona fide expert in this realm, and not mention once to him that there's this whole world and society and universe. So he's why didn't you tell me about all this? And she's like, oh, I just forgot. I just didn't do it. So there's a glaring loophole because somehow, some way she never mentioned this to anybody. So there's a whole universe down there. So when they get down there, the first thing Hank says is because it's the whole thing where the mom apparently she shrinks in that one Ant-Man movie to get underneath the armor of the missile, and the whole thing is that she kills herself theoretically, because she gets ripped apart and destroyed within the quantum universe, and like Hank is all distraught. He's like, no, she died a hero. Well, then they all get sucked into the quantum realm, like all five of them, and none of them die. And the only thing that happens when they get sucked down there is like Hank is like, yeah, we should have been killed. And they never like address why they don't get killed. So like the whole you're dead if you get sucked into the quantum realm is completely like doesn't even mean anything to this plot line, the storyline. So like the first like 20 minutes make absolutely no sense whatsoever. Now, to the movie's credit, it gets a little bit better as like the plot line builds up and you find out that Kane is like this master monster who's like destroyed planets and timelines, and he's like, you know, he was stuck with Janet, sorry. He was stuck with Janet, and then like she never knew this about him, but then she like was able, like, and again, we only watched this an hour and a half ago, guys, so it's not like I'm sitting here reading reviews and I'm not giving you like an in-depth analysis. I'm just giving you my reflections, talking to Brandy coming back in the car ride. But we're like, dude, like, this guy was supposed to be like an all-powerful boss who just like, he somehow talks about like killing Avengers, which we didn't really fully understand. I'm sure if somebody could explain that a little bit better to me, but like he was like banished there by like a higher power or a stronger being, and that's why him and Janet were there in the first place when she was first stuck in the quantum realm. But then like he has this whole backstory of being an absolute savage, a boss. Oh, it's Cassie. Okay, the daughter's name is Cassie. That like he's supposed to be like a mega savage. Well, like later on, I know I'm kind of skipping around a little bit, but in the ultimate fight at the end of this movie, like at certain points, like as a preview of his strength, we see him like Super Saiyan, like Dragon Ball Z, like just fucking like seismic waves of explosion to show his power. But then in like the ultimate end of the fucking movie fight, he has like little itty bitty laser beams and he's like pew 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 pew, and like he can only kill like one or two people at a time with his laser, like moving it around, which is like absolutely absurd if this is like the boss fight. Like, why is that his only power? Like, he doesn't like flex his nuts whatsoever, right? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And I mean, there are so many things wrong with this movie. Like, so Yellow Jacket's character, the guy that plays, I think Zach is his name, the bad guy from the first movie, like, is like a floating head with like a robot body. He looks like a fucking block from like Mario. And he's just like, it's like, so he's apparently in this movie supposed to be like the ultimate killing weapon. I think it's MODOK. I think it's an abbreviation for something. I can't remember exactly what it's for, but like he's supposed to be like the biggest savage, like killing machine, has like everybody in the whole like universe or world or society or whatever in that realm fears him. He's like Kane's like top guy, but then he's like totally can't even beat Cassie in a 1v1 fight. And the whole premise of like the very end of the movie where she's like, don't be a dick, and he's like, I am a dick, it's too late for me, and then he like sacrifices his life to like try to help defeat Kane for no reason, just because he realizes he's a dick in like a 20-second little scene, which makes no sense. And he kills himself to try to like defeat the guy that he's been serving for tens, if not 20 or 50 years or whatever the fuck. Like, makes no sense. And dude, it's just like, bro, so then like the last thing I'll say, I mean, there's a bunch of things that are wrong, but like at the end, like Kane is talking about like, hey, this is my army, this is my society, and you look down and there's like 500 ships and like 1,000,000 soldiers standing on like a formation, but then you see like the rebels or the fighters or like the terrorists or whatever they call themselves, like there's only like 100 to like 200 that we see on screen, and somehow like 200 of these things take on like 1,000,000 soldiers. Like Ant-Man, oh, and the premise that Ant-Man is supposed to not be able to hold his form for more than like a minute in his large form, but then like somehow, some way, he like fights the entire 30-minute fight in his large form and it doesn't affect him whatsoever. And like Cassie is able to like be in her large form without ever doing it once and not even knowing how to do it. And she's like, oh, I hope this works. And like, dude, it's just, I'm gonna start ranting, but this movie was so fucking bad. Like, I don't remember the last time that in a Marvel movie, like from the first 20 minutes, I was like, Brandy, does this, like, I whispered to her, I was like, does any of this shit make sense? And she's like, no, but just go with it. By the end of the movie, and so the last thing I'll say is, like, the movie at the very end, they're just like, they joke like Scott, because like his character is like a very like Ant-Man's like the laughy, happy-go-lucky, jokey, like doesn't give a shit about anything kind of character. At the end of the movie, they try to make up for how ridiculously nonsense the movie is, and they're just like, well, it doesn't make sense. And then he kind of acts like he doesn't know what the fuck just happened. He's like, did I save him? Is something bad about to happen? I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I can't figure it out. Ha 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 ha. And then like as the audience, you're like, dude, is like the movie trying to save itself from how dog shit it is and how none of the plot made sense whatsoever and how nobody in the audience probably knows what the hell's happening, to just joke in, laugh it off, and like cover up its massive plot lines and nonsense by having the main character say that he doesn't even know what the hell just happened this movie. I remember she was like, dude, stop being so loud. Stop saying this, stop saying that. And I'm just like, at one point he was like, this doesn't make sense, that doesn't make sense. And then out loud I was just like, this movie doesn't make sense. She's like, be quiet, be quiet, be quiet. Anyways, in synopsis, like, you in Rotten Tomatoes will think that like, hey, people will be like, oh, the critics are overly harsh, or the critics got it wrong, or the audience score is going to be so much better because in the long run it's a great movie. Like, the critics are just being too harsh, or they're trying to be too snotty, or they're the elites that think they know all about like cinematography and movies and plot lines and stuff. And then like, legitimately, this movie is just as bad, if not worse, than like the 46% Rotten Tomato score it has. I think it has the second lowest rating in any Marvel movie ever, and by far it is not, if not in the top 3 worst Marvel movies of all time, it's maybe the worst. And you know, that's the cool corner of the day. Marvel, get your shit together. Disney, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. I'll be uploading every week, and everything is live streamed from my Twitch channel. Check the information down below in the description. Stay cool.